got a couple of... Take a couple... We'll take another can with us. Yeah, we'll take another can with us. Should have enough. Right. Alright. Do I need to take the shotgun? I mean, probably not. I mean, I've got the pistol. Yeah, we'll just take quite a few of these. Alright. Yeah, we can take those. I'll get the puppet's attention, I think. I'll take one of these with me. I can ongoing. I'll put that there. I can go repair my shit then. Yeah, take some of these with us. Take the ones that are gonna run out. Lowest durability. I don't think I've got, what, 60 rounds for handgun? Don't think I'm gonna need much more than that, really. Right, let's take so let's see what we got here. What the hell? What the fuck is that? Go on the rampage. A couple of grenades. Smoke grenades. Don't know if that does anything. Loud bang could be useful for attracting puppets, can it? Yeah, it could be useful. I want to know if the anti-personal mines are useful against puppets. You know, the claymores as well. Gonna have to do a bit of googling and look into it, I think. Yeah, might take that one with me as well. I've got a bit of spare ammo. Right. Metabolism, Mike. Okay. Oh, I need to get some. Water down me as well. So I'm thinking, right, it hasn't crashed yet. So either what I found through Google is correct, that it's a frame rate issue, and if you go above a certain amount, then it sort of crashes, and you're better off locking it to whatever, you know. I mean, as you can see, I've locked it to 100 frames a second, and the GPU isn't going beyond like 70% load, which is good. I mean, 38C is great, to be honest, isn't it? I mean, it's water cooled down. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Right. Okay. Water's going up, alright. So, yeah, that's what I'm after then. Ideally, I want a battery would be cool again, so I can take my. Cause I don't think any of these SUVs has any charge. Nope, they're literally all dead. So they must lose charge after a while, which is a bit of a pain in the arse. Right, do I need, oh, I don't need to repair it at least, but I could put some fuel in it. And then top up the fuel from the buckets I've got here. Oh, I did have buckets. Okay, I'll use. Up there. Right. So that gives me a bit of extra fuel. Right, I think we've got plenty of light left. Just hope I don't lose the bike. I'll be so gutted. Unlikely to, I guess. Stick to the railway like I have been doing. Should be alright. Oh shit, do you know what? The only thing I haven't got on me is a raincoat, but I won't bother. Knowing my luck, it'll fucking rain. It'll chuck it down, but do you know what? Shit happens, we'll take the risk. Take the risk. But I do feel a little bit, what's the word, vulnerable on the bike. You know, it's not like with the car, you can drive over puppets. I don't know, you might be able to do it on the bike, but more than likely you're going to take damage or they're going to knock you off. I'll probably find another SUV actually, won't I? At the Trainyard, more than likely. So, see what happens. I mean, with regard to the crashing, I mean, I'm assuming it's either the drivers. I mean, I was on the latest, I think it's 47112, 471.12 drivers for my RTX 3080. Rather than going back one driver, I've gone back two. So I think I'm down to like 47168 drivers. So, at the moment, it seems alright. So maybe a combination of going back down a couple of drivers and what's the word? And locking the frame rate at 100 frames a second. That's essentially cured it. I think I've got a lot further than I did last time anyway, with regards to gameplay. Yeah, if I go this way, I can pick up on the railway. I can go down the railway. It's weird, the bike goes probably, well, not probably, it goes 2 kilometers or 1 to 2 kilometers faster than what the boat goes at. The boat does 49 kilometers, the motorboat. And this one's doing 51. I'll probably get a little bit faster, won't it? Even when I get more skilled on it. Could even go across land, but I'll stick to roads for now. It's weird that I've used this amount of fuel to get this far, yet when I brought, I think it was either the police SUV or the pickup back, I used less fuel to get it back. But then I was coasting a lot as well, and I don't think this bike coasts. Well, I mean it did actually, it did coast, but if I let off the gas, it just stops completely. It doesn't actually coast. I actually had a motorbike a little bit like this when I was, I think I was like about 18 or 17 or 18, something like that. But I had a bike a little bit like this one. It's only like a 50, I think. Yeah, it was a 50. It was pretty cool. Used to take it down forestry, local forestry, where I lived in. Well, I lived in a place called, well, lived near a place called Harlech in North Wales, in the UK, and it was like a big forestry. I used to go shoot down there and hunt down there when I was a kid, you know, with air rifle and all. And it was pretty cool. But it was like 10 square miles of forest, you know, pine forest. Yeah, it's weird. It made me think about reading those stories about people going missing and shit like that in the woods. And it's weird. I spent that much time down the forestry when I was a kid. I mean, it was literally 10 square miles of really thick pine forest. And you know, I used to go down there armed with just like an air rifle. I mean, I did have, actually, at one stage, I had a really nice knife that I bought online, and it was a cold steel Tanto, and it had like a 9-inch, I think, or a 7.5-inch blade on it, and fucking hell, it was strong. This blade was immensely strong. I think it was made of Sanmai laminated steel. I mean, it would hold a hell of an edge on it. I mean, I used it to chop through steel rope once. I mean, literally like 1/4-inch steel rope, and I cut through it, and there was barely any scratch on the blade, you know, on the edge of it. I mean, it was a friggin' strong knife. You know, you could use it as like a pry tool or anything. It was crazy. So strong. And I think I paid about 150 quid for it, which back then was a hell of a lot, you know, for a young adult to you know, to fork out for a knife. But it was such a good knife. I mean, you know, I used to take it camping, and you know, I used it for skinning the rabbits, and, you know, deboning them or whatever else. And yeah, it was a really good knife. So you know, I felt confident in when I went down there, because I had that knife, and it was fucking razor sharp. I mean, it was really sharp. You could have literally shaved with it. So if there was anything down there and anything attacked me up close, then I would have sliced it a new fucking arsehole. It was that bloody strong. But yeah, I mean, I camped down there. I mean, I can remember, you know, I lived with my parents until I was like, I don't know, 19, something like that. And when I was about probably 16 and a half, something like that, I had a blazing row with my mum. I can't remember what it was about. Something trivial, probably. So, anyway, I had this blazing row with my mum. And I end up, basically, I swore at my mum. I told her to fuck off. And I hardly ever swore at my mother. Well, either parent, to be honest. But anyway, I swore at my mother, told her to fuck off, and she had done this before. She tried to wash my mouth out with soap. You know, I think it's like a traditional thing that parents try and do to their kids when their kids swear at them. So yeah, she tried to wash my mouth out with soap, and I told her to fuck off again. And I missed that one. So she basically said, "Get the fuck out of my house," blah blah blah, you know, whatever. So I literally I grabbed my gun, I grabbed my knife and the rucksack and, you know, a few provisions, whatever else, and I literally just went out of the house. And that looks like a suicide puppet. What the fuck? Oh my god, did you see that guy? He just leapt over that fucking... He just leapt over that wall. That was freaky. I should have brought the AK. Oh, fuck me, man. That was freaky. I wonder if he went after a crow, because they go after birds now, don't they? That is freaky, man. That is fucking freaky. These zombies freak me out sometimes. So, yeah, so anyway, Mum kicked me out. I grabbed all my shit. Oh, this is fucking typical, isn't it? This is fucking typical. I said it wasn't gonna rain, you know, what if it rains? It's gonna fucking rain. That is typical, man. Never mind. Shit happens. So yeah, grabbed my shit. And I went down the forestry. Walked down there, and it was like, it's probably like 5 miles from where I lived. But I used to walk along the railway line. It was like a railway line that you know, went down the coast. So basically walked along the railway line for 4 or 5 miles to the forestry, and I stayed down there for about a week until my mother got really worried about me, and she asked my dad to come and find me. So there was a little bit of pop up there. Yeah, so my dad came looking for me. Yes, my dad came looking for me after about like, I don't know, a week, because I think he assumed that I was going to sort of like just come back, but I didn't, and I just stayed down there because I fucking loved being in the forestry. I mean, I was one of those kids that was bullied in school really badly. I think, you know, when you're bullied, you sort of tend to do like things that are sort of you know, like a bit maybe solitary. You know, you get to a point in life where sometimes you just can't trust people. So anyway, I went down the forestry. I knew it like the back of my hand, this place. And I literally like just set up like my camp. And basically my camp was like this. It was like a tent that I'd set up, and I had like a perimeter around the tent. So I mean, there was. Yeah, I had a perimeter around the tent, and it was basically, you know, where you come within 10 meters of that perimeter, and you're gonna be in a world of shit. I mean, I had like, you know, deadfall traps and like bungee sticks and shit like that. Because I don't know what it was about the forestry. Sometimes I was alright with it. Other times it freaked the fuck out of me. I mean, I had friends in school that they'd tell me stories, you know, like about the forestry, and they'd say, "Oh, I've heard this, and I've seen this, and whatever else." But I mean, I spent years going down this place, and I never really saw much. I mean, yeah, I heard a few weird noises at night, and a couple of times I thought I was being followed, you know, through the woods and all that. But you know, I never really sort of got really scared. I mean, when I started getting into like ninjutsu and kenjutsu, I went down there armed with a samurai sword, like this katana, and I used to spend hours like just running around the fucking forestry, just like, you know, I don't know, like hiding and sort of just camouflage and shit like that. I mean, I had people walk past me within a couple of feet of me. They had a clue that I was there, and I was like dressed as a fucking ninja in black and the fucking katana straps on my back. I mean, you know, so I wasn't really sort of asked if there was anything down there. You know, I was basically the baddest motherfucker in the forest. But a couple of times there was things that happened that I couldn't explain. Like my parents, they loved Rottweilers, so they rescued like 2 Rottweilers. We had one Rottweiler, a male, and we'd had him since like birth, and then they rescued another 2 Rottweilers. Now one of the Rottweilers, Tara, she was due to be put down, and I think it was the RSPCA. They basically said, I think my mum was sort of, I don't know, we'd rescued a dog, I think it was an Alsatian or something, and they'd taken it to these kennels, and there was a Rottweiler in this room, and my dad saw the Rottweiler in the room, and he just asked this guy about it, you know, about the dog, and the guy said, look, nobody can get near this dog, and we're going to put it down, because basically it's, you know, we can't rehome it. And my dad was like, well, what's wrong with it? And he said, well, it's been really badly abused, and the person that had it was a man, and he like, you know, he beat it with like a crowbar, he broke one of its back hips and shit like that, and, you know, it's healed and all that, and we sort of took the dog off him. And my dad was like, I want to fucking know who this guy is, you know, he's going to go around there and do the same thing to him, like, you know. But anyway, the dog absolutely fucking hated men, really hated men. And this guy was like, well, you know, it's nearly had me a few fucking times. So anyway, my dad said, well, look, let me go into the room with this dog, you know, and I'll see how it is like. So the guy was like, well, it's your funeral, mate, you know. But my dad had like a way about him, you know. So anyway, he goes into the room, and he just sat down, and he didn't look at Tara at all, this dog. Didn't look at her at all. He just sat down, looking at the floor, and the dog was sort of growling at him, and then it sort of, after about 5 minutes, it came, and it sort of stood next to him, but he didn't touch her, he didn't do anything, he just sat there looking at the floor, sat on this bench in the room. And the guy, you know, the RSPCA guy, he was looking through the window and sort of just, you know, ready to sort of run in, I guess, and try and sort of, you know, get Tara off him if she attacked. But anyway, so oops. Oh shit, I didn't light it. What a fucking idiot! I didn't light it. Oh my god, my brain. So yeah. So anyway, my dad sat there, and it was weird. Like Tara, she I don't think she was called Tara at the time. Actually, I think she was called a different name. But my parents named her Tara. So yeah, she came over to him, and do you know what? It was weird. Within 10 minutes of him going in there, sitting on the bench, and not making eye contact with you know, he was very careful. She came over, she put her head in his lap, and he started sort of just stroking the top of her head, and then he was stroking behind her ears. Oh my god, she was putty in his hands. And the RSPCA guy, he was amazed. He'd never seen anything like it, you know. My dad just stayed away, and my mum and dad, you know, well, my dad had fallen in love with her, and she was a beautiful dog, but, I mean, this is the big thing as well, she was half Rottweiler, and she was half Canadian Timber Wolf, and you couldn't really tell with the wolf thing, apart from her teeth, she had these immense fangs. I mean, they were much bigger than a normal Rottweiler's. I mean, I'd say her front fangs were probably 1.5 to 2 inches. I mean, she was built like a brick shithouse, basically. She was all muscle. I mean, pure muscle. So, yeah, they decided to sort of, you know, give her a home. And, so they brought her home, and they sort of just, you know, Taran, who was the male Rottweiler that we'd had since birth, he absolutely loved her. I mean, they had a few spats and whatever else, but I think she became like oh, look, there's a puppet. Oh, he looks like a suicide one. Doesn't he look like a... Oh, I didn't reload it. Oh, shit. Right, I didn't reload it. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh. Might not be a suicide one. To keep fucking firing at the bugger. Oh, do you know, I swear I need like a decent scope for this. Right, let's try a different flare. So yeah, Tara was pretty much got accustomed to living with us. Now the point of the story mentioning about her was my mum and father used to walk the dogs. There's 3 Rottweilers, Taran the male, Tara the big female, one that was part wolf or half wolf, and Kaylee, who was like much smaller. She looked like a sausage dog because she had really short legs. So mum and dad used to walk them down the forest route where I used to go shooting. You know, they'd go like a certain route, I mean, well away from where I used to go shooting. You know, the rabbits and that. But one night, they were coming back, and it was quite late. It was about 10, half past 10, but, I mean, they weren't really scared. I mean, when you've got 3 Rottweilers with you, you're not really scared of much. But, so they were coming back through this, like, set trail, which went through the middle of the forest. And, I must have hit that guy the first time, and the second shot's killed him. So, yes, cat, I can hear you, cat, I know. So, yeah, they were coming back through this, you know, and it was dark, it was about 10 o'clock at night. Now, Taran, the male, he just stopped dead in his tracks, and he was looking at something in the woods. Couldn't see anything. I mean, it was dark. I mean, Dad had a torch with him, but I mean, it didn't penetrate more than a couple of feet into the woods, you know, because it was so dense, and so thick. So, oh, there's another one there. Is that the suicide one? Nope. Shot him in the leg and he went down. I wonder if I hit that one before as well. That's weird, isn't it? Maybe I took out one of his knees. My cat's talking to me. You think I'm talking to you? I'm not. I'm talking into the microphone, you daft cat. Right. So, yeah, so Taryn's looking off into the woods. Sort of like can see something, but can't quite sort of make out what it is. Mum and Dad can't see anything at all. I mean, completely blind, really. So, yeah. So they, they're trying to work out what the hell's in the woods. Anyway, all of a sudden, Taran just makes off. He doesn't like whatever's in the woods. And the only other time he's been really scared was when we went to Isle of Wight at a place called Robin Hill Park. And they had a zoo there with, I think they had like a puma or something in the zoo. And he smelt it and he wouldn't get out of the car. So, anyway, he starts running in the forestry. I mean, literally, he just, I can't get away from him. So, our cat's got a habit of rubbing her ass against one of her fucking daft cat. So, I thought I saw a zombie down there. Anyway, so Taran just makes off, and he's running, like up the path. And my mum, who's got like a lead, holding the lead, she's sort of just getting dragged behind him. But he's not hanging around. He doesn't, whatever he smelt, he doesn't like the smell of. So he literally just gone up the path. So yeah, so he's literally gone up the path. Whatever it was, he didn't like the smell of it. Now Tara, she stands there defensively, and she can smell something, or she can see something, and she starts growling. I mean, she's seriously growling. She ain't having none of it. I mean, this girl, she's not fucking scared of nothing. I mean, that was the wolf in her, definitely. But Taran, he was treated like a baby, really, So I think even though he's a rotty, he just, sometimes he could be like a bit skittish with some things. But he'd smelt something, or he'd seen something in the forestry, and he didn't like it. And that was why it was like, fuck this, I'm out of here, sort of thing, So yeah, he was just up the path and dragging my mum behind him. And just, I mean, he was like a big dog. He was 10.5 stone. Tara was, what, 13, something like that. I mean, I know she was well over 10 stone anyway. So anyway, he's going up the path. My dad's holding on to Tara. She wants to go into the woods. Whatever's in the woods, she wants to go in there and fucking kill it. I mean, she was a born hunter. We'd take her out, we'd walk in the forest, or we'd walk on the beach. She'd find a fresh rabbit scent, and she'd be digging the hole. And after 5 minutes, she'd have the whole of her body inside the hole. Oh, some nice rounds there. So, yeah, so she saw something, or she smelt something, and she wanted to go in the woods and tackle it, but my dad was trying to drag her off. Anyway, eventually he managed to pull her away, and they managed to sort of get back, the path and all that. So anyway, they had to go over a couple of like styes, like a gate, So they go over a couple of gates. So they go back to the car, and it's in like this big car park, but there's no lighting or nothing, and the sort of forest stops, I don't know, 200-300 meters from where the car park is. But anyway, Tara smells something else, and she just runs past my dad, and my dad's got like a big flexible lead. I think it was like 5 meters long or something. It's quite, it's like the thickest you can get. So he's got this lead, and he's trying to sort of drag her back, but she goes racing past him, trying to get to, well, whatever was there. And he manages to drag her back and gets her in the back of the car. I think they had like a Mercedes estate or something. So he gets her in the back of the car, and he gets in the car. Taryn's all secured, like. Taryn's all secured in the car as well. Yeah, so he gets in the car, and it's dark in the car, and he can feel his hand. His hand feels wet, and his pants feel wet, but it's not raining. So he switches on the overhead light, and his hand's covered in blood, and his front of his trousers is soaked in blood, and he's thinking, what the hell's happened? So he's trying to work it out, and he's got a gash in the knuckle. I think it was in his right hand. So he's got a big gash in the knuckle in his right hand, but he can't work out where it's come from. And where it's come from is Tara, when she's gone past him. She's caught the top of his hand, the knuckles, with one of her fangs, and because it's so sharp, her fangs, it's literally cut the top of his knuckle open, his hand open, like an orange, like a knife in an orange. And I mean, that was literally the only explanation, for that. But it was weird. I mean, there was something in that forest that spooked Tara. And I mean, he was like a 10.5 stone Rottweiler, and but like I said, he could be a bit of a baby, really. We had babied him and mothered him from when he was like a pup. My mother brought him home in a shoebox when he was a puppy. He was that small. It was like 9 weeks or something, So he was a baby, and that's probably why he was sometimes a bit scared. That's not a bad find. So, yeah, so he was scared of something, but Tara wanted to fucking kill it. And so, never did find out what it was that was in the woods that night. But, see, this is probably why, when I went camping, I made sure there was a bit of a perimeter. So, if there was anything out there, then it had to get through my defences. And I had, my defences made the, sort of Viet Cong, sort of punji stick and all that shit look like child's play. I mean, I dug like trenches, and I had punji sticks in them. I mean, anybody walking up there, fucking hell, they would have thought I was a complete nutcase, and do you know what, maybe I was a little bit. But, oh, block, I wanted one of those. It's 20. I think I've got one magazine. That's not a bad find, actually, because that's 45 ACP. I mean, the 9mm, the M9's alright, but being 9mm doesn't have much stopping power, whereas 45 ACP, it's a good round for stopping. So yeah. So my camp, I had like, bungee stick trench that was then covered with like a combination of like little branches and pine needles and stuff like that. I mean, there was no way anybody was getting through my defences. I even had like one of those Oh, it's like a big block of soil, like a sod of grass, I guess. And then what I'd do is I'd drive plunging sticks through the middle, and then I suspended it by a rope in the trees. It took a while to get it up there because you had to tie a rope onto the bottom of it. So it basically looked like a morning star, the morning star type thing with loads of spikes and shit like that. I suspend it on a rope and then suspend it in the top of the tree. I had to climb up the tree actually it took me a while to get it out. And then basically put like a tripwire in front, so there was like a bit of an alley where this morning star type thing was. And then when you walked up the alley and you walked through the tripwire, basically this thing came down and hit you level in the chest. So yeah, just one of those things. Of course when I left the camp, I'd make sure it was all safe, and I knew where the traps were, so even at night I could navigate around them. I wasn't stupid enough to leave any traps. I was gonna blunder through at night. That's not a bad find, is it? I guess. Yeah, that'll do. Elastic bands are good. Well, the only downside with bloody pipe bombs is I found out you need, it's not like a Duke Nukem type pipe bomb, which is a bit of a disappointment to be honest. I was hoping I'd be able to chuck the bloody things, but you can't, so a bit of a disappointment. I've made like 6 of them. I've got to fucking use them. Never mind. So yeah, so my camp was pretty well defended. So I didn't worry about anybody or anything coming into the camp. But I used to hear shit. I mean, yeah, I'd hear stuff stomping around in the woods and shit like that. But I had my my Tantome, I had my air rifle. I mean, air rifle probably didn't. Oh, look at that. Air rifle probably didn't seem like it was, like a powerful thing. But my air rifle was probably, well, saying probably. Saying probably, no, there was no probably about it. It was fucking illegal. It was a 34 break, 34 pounds. When the legal limit is 12, and it was like a HW, was it 22 HW80, had like a suppressor on the end, it had like a fucking huge scope on it, put like a laser sight on the side, which had like a 500-meter range. It was, shit, it's a fucking big one, isn't it? Yeah, take that, you little shit. It normally take more than 3 shots, don't I? Never mind. Yeah, so yeah, my camp was pretty well defended, but like I said, I did hear shit moving around in the woods. I mean, it was like 10 square miles of bloody forestry down there, and I'd had like people that used to go down there, like mates, that I'd known in school and shit like that. They used to say to me, oh well, I've had like black dogs and shit like that I've seen in the woods and whatever. And, I think they were sort of just trying to scare me. I mean, obviously it did sort of worry me a little bit because I used to camp down there, and I'd sleep out there at night. My tent. Sometimes I'd sleep out under the stars. If it wasn't raining, it wasn't cold. Like in the summer. And I mean, literally, then I'm sort of like bare to the, to the environment and to whoever's sort of down there Like I said though, my camp, you couldn't get within 10 meters of it. Probably the funniest trap was, I don't know why, but there was an old set of train wheels down there. I mean, literally, it was like, it seemed to be like the front end of like a carriage. It was like two massive wheels, which were like, I don't know, 2 foot tall, and they literally looked like they were the front wheels on a train, from a train. And what I did was I don't know if it's worth taking those, but I'll keep that. Yeah, so what I did was I managed to get these train tracks to the top of this cliff, and the top of the cliff was sort of, you know, my camp was like situated right at the top of the cliff, and you know, it overlooked, like, you know, I guess it was sort of like I had like a hill, and so there was like steep, like sandy sort of inclines on all sides, and then, you know, all my defences were sort of, you know, around the top and around the bottom, and so I set up these wheels so that if you were coming up the hill and you tripped the tripwire, they'd come careering down the hill. I mean, it was such a simple setup. I mean, literally all I had was some, you know, like chocks that you put under like an aircraft wheel. That I had some of them, and the wheels were basically had like a couple of pieces of wood there, so they were chocked, and they were sort of hidden behind some sort of pine tree branches. So like when you went through this tripwire, basically what happened is you'd sort of like fall backwards or whatever, or fall forwards, and the tripwire was quite taut, and the wire just literally pulled the chocks away from under the wheels, and the momentum from the wheels would just fall, you know, and the weight of them, I mean, fucking hell, they were heavy. It took me ages to drag the bloody drag the wheels up the hill using like a winch, a pulley system type thing. But so yeah, it was pretty well defended. There was no way anybody was getting into my camp. Bit of a crazy thing, I guess. But I actually had a friend called Trevor. I don't know where he is. He might even be dead now. But me and him were pretty crazy about shooting, rifle shooting and shit like that. And so yeah, we were pretty crazy about shooting and shit like that. We used to go shooting together. I mean, he was less into hunting, more target shooting and shit like that. You know, we used to do like extended rifle shooting. I mean, my scope was a really good scope. Had like an etched glass reticule with windage dots and whatever else. And it was all like calibrated and set up. I could quite easily shoot out to. I could quite easily shoot out to. Oh, I don't know, you know, 130 meters, something like that. So, you know, and I could do it in the wind as well. You know, I used the windage dots to adjust. You know, I had like a feather on a piece of cord that was dangling from the front of the barrel, so that any sort of breeze, you know, I could adjust for that. So we were both crazy into shooting, and we had planned. Pretty much what we'd planned is we were going to go into the Royal Welch Fusiliers and join basically the infantry. Let's see, we'll change that one. Yeah, join the infantry, and then after 3 years we'd specialise, or I think it's 4 years, 3 or 4 years we'd specialise as snipers, and so that's what we planned. But anyway, I couldn't get in because I had an old injury from my motorcycling days. I'd literally just gone down the road on my elbow, on my left elbow, and you know, I went to like Catterick Military Hospital and they did like tests and x-rays and shit like that on my elbow. They basically said, right, well, you can have this operation, but it's gonna like knock you out. You know, literally, it'll stop you. You know, your recovery time's gonna be like fucking 6 months or something stupid like that. And you know, I thought to myself, do I really want to be out of action for like, you know, 6 months or something? Tell you what, let's unload. Let's put that there. Right, we'll unload the ammo. And then we'll notch one of those buggers. And then I can. Right, that'll do. Yeah, I can't pick anything up on, can I? Do I need to? Might need to take a piss, to be honest. Yeah, I might need to take a piss. Oh, and a shit. Typical. Yeah, so Trevor was as mad about shooting as I was, really. So we spent like a few nights camping down the woods. I think we spent like 5 nights or so, and we'd go out and we'd shoot a rabbit and, you know, skin it and cook it over the fire. I've pretty much eaten quite a few different things. I mean, most of the time I never told my mother. She was a bit of an animal lover, so she probably wouldn't approve, but yeah, I've eaten like squirrel, and which tastes a bit like chicken, although even though it's like red meat, it's not white meat. You know, I've eaten hedgehog, which is quite nice actually. I mean, basically what you do is you just, you know, you skin it, not skin it, gut it rather, and then what you do is you wrap it in like mud, or you know, like clay or whatever if you can. Wrap it, mud's alright, and then you put it in the embers of a fire and you just sort of like leave it for like, I don't know, a couple hours, an hour or something like that, maybe longer. Can't really remember. I mean, last time I did something like that, it was over, yeah, getting on for 35 years, over 35 years. So basically, you put it in the embers, and then after about, you know, an hour or whenever it's cooked, when you peel the mud off, all of the spines and the skin and all that shit comes off with the mud. So, you know, and then pretty much it's ready to eat. It's like that Crocodile Dundee thing, you know, it tastes like shit but you can survive on it, you know. But yeah, so I used to spend quite a bit of time down in the woods. Like I said, I've never really seen, I wouldn't say I've seen anything, you know, that was like, definitely like a, you know, not like a, you know, it's not something I could explain, you know. You know, I wouldn't say I've seen any monsters or massive dogs or shit like that. I mean, yeah, I've heard stuff, but more often than not, because the woods are so quiet, it's more likely to be something, you know, easily explainable. You know, it's more likely to be something that's, you know, like oh, that's interesting. That's cool. Oh, that's awesome. So I could take that. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty cool. I don't think it's as good as military armor, to be honest. So yeah, I've heard stuff. I mean, I've found tracks going through the wood. Oh shit, cat battery. Oh shit. Right, might need to eat my cake. Might need to eat my cake. Yeah, so I've found tracks in the woods. They look like big cat tracks, you know, like a puma track or something like that. But I mean, it's probably just like a dog's track, and you know, the rain or whatever, and you know, it's caused it to sort of expand, so it looks bigger than it normally is. Yeah, like I said, I've never really seen anything. You know, like I said, I heard stuff, but like I said, when it's really quiet in the woods, and you know, dead of night, and there's somebody sort of, you know, something creeping around in the woods, and you hear like a twig snap, you think, oh my god, you know, what the fuck? But sometimes it's just like a fox or a badger. I mean, a badger going through the woods is like a fucking bull in a china shop. I mean, they seem to rub against every tree. They seem to fucking make so much bloody noise. I mean, and sheep fucking back. I mean, you know, like I found a few bloody sheep in the woods that like got trapped in brambles and shit like that, and they couldn't escape. You know, because the fur, you know, the wool just gets sort of, you know, the bramble just gets like wrapped around the wool and all that, and they just get stuck somewhere. I never heard them, you know, when they cough, when they bark, and I mean that freaks you out. You know, in the middle of dark forest, you know, there's quite a lot to freak you out. But yeah, like I said, I've never really seen anything that I'd say was something I couldn't explain. But yeah, I can imagine. I mean, in some of these places in America, yeah, it would be pretty freaking scary to be out in the woods, you know, especially with that bloody weapon. I mean, some of these people that go walking in the bloody woods, and you know there's fucking coyotes, cougars, you know, mountain lions, bears, whatever else. I mean, I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck are you on, pal? I mean, seriously, you wouldn't catch me. You wouldn't catch me in the bloody woods. You wouldn't catch me in the woods where I know there's either bears, mountain lions, you know, cougars, whatever you want to call them, and like, you know, and there's a risk of stumbling into one. No, I'm taking a fucking shotgun with slugs. I'm taking some sort of weapon, something. You know, but these people that go hiking in the woods and they don't take anything. And even worse, the people that go hiking in the woods, they don't fucking tell anybody. And they're just like, oh yeah, I'm just going to go off for, you know, like, you know, a few hours in the woods. And everything's going to be fucking hunky-dory. You know, before you know it, they go missing, and then, you know, it's like Monday morning, and somebody's like, hey, Joe hasn't turned in for work, you know, like, oh yeah, you know, well, he was talking about sort of, you know, going for a hike in the woods. Oh, right, okay. You know, I don't know, it's like, I think to myself, what is this Darwin Awards type thing, you know? Crazy, innit? Right. I wonder if I can eat one more. Yeah, I reckon I could eat one more bit of cake, can I? Probably. Oh no, that's getting a bit much. That's getting a bit too much. Yeah, I've gone over there. Oh, is it? Oh, it's gone. Alright, that's one good thing. Right, so this battery, I need to try and make some bloody room so I can take this battery with me.